Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to the webinar. Thank you for joining on time. We usually allow some time for others to join as well. But this time we're going to start immediately, respecting your time. And anyway, everything is recorded. You can watch it later. In case you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. I see some familiar names. I believe Ankit have attended with us some webinars before. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, brilliant. So is it the same Ankit or a different Ankit? Yeah. I hope you guys are there. Ankit, England, Shireen. If you can hear me, feedback on the chat window would be great. Thank you, Shireen. All right, England. England, let me know. Do you have the Copilot license? Thank you, Ankit. Ankit and England, do you have the Copilot license? Right. Are you joining us from your corporate laptop? You can check right away. The easiest way to check if you have the license or not is to open up Fire, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, whatever. On the Home tab, you should see the Copilot icon. Yeah, that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to go to the File menu. You see, let me share my screen first. All right. So on the Home tab, if this is saved on OneDrive or SharePoint, on the Home tab, you will see the Copilot icon activated. If not, and you still want to check if you have the license or not, you go to the File menu and then Info, Account, and then you should see the Copilot icon right up here. Troubleshooting tips. Sometimes you have the license, but you still don't get, you don't see the logo and you can't use it. You might need to update the license. Click on Update, and that will refresh the version of Microsoft Office that you have. HomeKit is saying something. I have a license for my personal account, but currently using corporate laptop, which does not have license. Right, right. So if you have a license on your personal account, you still can do pretty much almost everything that we demo here, except for Microsoft Teams. It's a little bit limited on the individual license. Yeah. All right. So tell me if you have used Microsoft Loop, because that's gonna be my first demo. I wanted to make sure that we leverage this these hours that we spend together here. So and there is a few number of us on the call. So the more you engage and interact and ask questions, the better the result that we will get out of this session. So please, let's have an interactive session. And whenever you have any question at any point of time, ask right away, right? So let me know. Raise your hand if you've used ChatGPT. I should see all hands. Yeah. Three so far. Brilliant. I know Mariam did. I don't know about Ziad and sorry, Ayad and England. However, what I'm trying to say here is that Copilot is basically built on top of ChatGPT capabilities. For those who doesn't know, all right? I'm just gonna briefly introduce Copilot because we've said this several times during the previous webinars. Well, um, OpenAI has a separate instance for Microsoft and its Copilot. It's not the same instance of ChatGPT that the public use. Yeah, they have a separate one for Copilot. This one is more restricted, where Microsoft applies responsible AI on it. And here comes the first line of defense, the first security or the first security control towards your data. The second part is that Copilot doesn't really learn from your data, unlike ChatGPT, where it learns and it retains the data, right? So what we want to do on this webinar is to demonstrate to you a couple of Copilot capabilities, and the focus is on Microsoft 365 Copilot, right? So without further ado, let's begin. My name is Ayman Khalifa, and I will guide you through how to use Copilot on your daily life and daily applications. Sayed, did you forget your hand raised up or you have something to say? All right, so let's begin. Let's begin with an easy um, feature on Microsoft Form. Remember, this webinar is called Product Focus, so we will focus on Microsoft 365 on Copilot on those applications, starting with Microsoft Forms. I hope you can see my screen because I'm sharing. Yeah. All right. So we're going to begin with a new form. All right. Creating forms sometimes can get hectic because I need to sketch them down. What are the fields that I need, and then what are the data types? But not anymore. Especially with Copilot, what I can do is basically I can um, ask Copilot to generate employee feedback form um, about our, let's say, IT services. Why not? Yeah, so generate. If I have more details, more context, I could have added it. I could have said, oh, I want this particular question to be there. Yeah, and I want this question with these type of answers. So there you go. Copilot was able to generate some samples. You choose what you want to keep, and then you can get rid of the rest. So employee feedback on IT services. How satisfied are you with the IT support? How often do you experience technical issues to the rest of it? And if I want today um, to add something, I can go like ask for the IT admin slash agent who supported, let's say, supported the employee. Why not? Despite the typos, this, there you go. Yeah, provide this complaint a suggestion regarding the IT support agent, right? And then I can ask for a certain, I can refer to question number 4. I wanted to change it to whatever I want, drop down list or anything. All right. And remember, Copilot always retains the history of the generated content in case you want to go back. And if I want to edit the initial prompt, I still can. And if I want to get rid of it, I just click here or regenerate it or keep it. So I'm going to click on keep it, and there we go. I have my form ready. Yeah, if I want to add something, I can add it manually or I can add it through Copilot, right? And that was Copilot in Forms. On top of this, Copilot can help you in Forms with the settings and with the, let's say, the design and all of that. So we have some suggestions here by Copilot. So if I click on view, it will analyze the form and then come up with some suggestions for me. So let's take a look. It's suggesting some designs for me to implement, right? To attract attention. So maybe I'll go for, let's say, this one. Why not? I'm gonna click on it, see it, I like it, I keep it, I don't like it, and move to another one. Right? Maybe I want something like this or like this, whatever you want. Yeah. So I'll stick to this one. I'm gonna keep it. All right. Now we have other suggestions here. Whether you want to let responses to save settings to save the responses or not. And pretty much these suggestions are based on the topic, but they're coming from the settings options in here. If I want to apply all of them, I can click on apply or get rid of the ones that I don't want and then click on apply. All right. If you want to get more sharing methods and so on, other than the ones suggested here, you click on more or work with the ones that you have, or you can simply skip those suggestions from Copilot and close it. And there we go. You have the form ready. Yeah. So you can immediately start interacting and immediately start using it. So that's forms. Let's jump to another demo. Can you guys hear me clearly? Brilliant. Thank you, Said. All right. So now I'm going to Microsoft Whiteboard. Okay. Some of the underrated applications. It's very good for visualizing steps and activities of a process, mind mapping, and so on. So, for instance, I was explaining to the team um, about Copilot and how to use it in Microsoft Teams and how to build the scenario, what we call chain scenario, and so on. So I came up with this one, right? And I'll show you how. So basically, let me explain this part to you. Copilot in Teams actually can help you uh, before the meeting, during the meeting, and after the meeting. Before the meeting, it can help you prep for the meeting, prep for the agenda and so on. During the meeting, you get to summarize, ask questions, and translate content and so on. And after the meeting, list the action items, tasks, minutes of meetings, and so on. But then I can use Copilot within Microsoft Word, for instance, to create content. Maybe I want to create social media content, all right? And then this generated content in Microsoft Word, I can leverage it and use it in PowerPoint to generate a presentation. And then using the presentation, I would prepare the meeting agenda in Microsoft Teams using Copilot as well, right? And then, of course, using Copilot, I can easily use the same agenda and the document to attach to an email and ask Copilot to draft that email. But before I show you all these capabilities, let me walk you through how to generate those sticky items. Of course, Copilot will not generate the icons for you, neither the arrows, but that's something that we can do. So let me go back and create a new whiteboard. Once I go for a new whiteboard, Copilot is immediately offering help. All right. So I'm going to click on suggest, and then Copilot is suggesting this prompt. Suggest ways to optimize my website for organic search without using social media. So I can type my own prompt, but for the sake of this demo, I'm just going to stick to the current prompt and send it to Copilot using this button here. There we go. Copilot is working on it. And then Copilot will create all the activities required for me to optimize my website SEO. So it's suggested 6 activities, but you know as well, we want to make the team life harder, so we will generate more activities for them to do. Yeah. So you can keep hitting more until you reach the limit. And whenever you hit more and this one is not increasing, then Copilot cannot generate more activities for you. Take a look at the activities, review them, keep the ones that you don't want, get rid of the ones that you don't want. Once you're satisfied with the list of activities, click on insert. All right, click on insert. And then they get inserted like this, which doesn't make any sense unless you click on categorize. So once you click on categorize, Copilot is going to color code them or put them in different phases, right? Let's say content creation, all right? So these are the activities, technical SEO that needs to happen, and then user experience, and so on. And voila, now you can change icon, rearrange things. Copilot helped you with your first draft, all right? The rest is on you. But if you like the content, feel free to keep it. If you don't like the content, regenerate it. And remember to share your feedback with Copilot, whether you like the generated content or you don't like the generated content. And that's what will make the model better and day by day. I'm going to keep this one. And now I want to explain this to the team. Maybe I will modify some activity names, change their location, get rid of some, and so on. Once I'm done with this diagram, I'm going to right click and click on summarize by Copilot. So I'm going to click on summarize and then let me zoom out a bit. Copilot is going to understand the steps and the different activities that I have on this um, process, and then it will summarize it and explain it in a way that I can share with the team. Yeah, so that's the explanation. I'm going to click on keep it, and then I'm going to zoom in more than I need. All right, so let's zoom in the space, bring this one here, and there you go. This is the explanation. So 18 ideas, there you go, on content creation, optimize the team sketched out strategies and so on. So it explained the activities within that phase or stage. And then a reference to the actual process, all right? So this whiteboard, it's named whiteboard 10. I would have captured the name here on this link for me to share if I've named it properly. And then I can simply copy the whole component or share it with my team. Take a look at this icon here. Yeah, this is a loop component. Microsoft is using loop components within the whiteboard, and it's using it within Microsoft Teams as well. So why don't we jump to Microsoft Loop and see what is Microsoft Loop? So Microsoft Loop, I usually tell everyone, or I like to explain it this way. If you've used OneNote, you would know that OneNote is just an advanced Word document where I can have multiple Word documents and add content and add actual files and videos and they work live and so on, right? Well, Microsoft Loop is just a fancy OneNote. It works on the web. Yeah. So you get web components as if you're building a website. So if I go for loop to search for it, yeah, here I'm going to start a new loop, new workspace. Just going to call it demo and create. So here, this is where I ask Copilot to generate content for me, right? So I can type forward slash and Copilot should pop up. It's just loop is loading right now. So there you go. Draft page content, and then Copilot is sharing some ideas. Maybe I want to draft a brochure for an underwater theme park. Why not? Brainstorm strategies to attract new customers using social media. Describe. So these are some suggestions by Copilot. I can write my own prompt, but then I would demo it using, let's say, this one in here. So brainstorm strategies, why not? And then I'm going to send this to Copilot. All right. And there you go. I got my response. Yeah. And I can take this part, cut it, and use it as my title. There we go. So Loop will allow me to add different web-based components like these. Yeah, you see all of these that you don't really get in Word. So if you have a Kanban board, yeah, you see that's a Kanban board. Yeah, I don't get this in Word to manage my tasks. When I click on Control Z, I'm going to test something with you right here. I've never tested it before, but let me check now and we will figure that out together. So I'm going to ask Copilot to generate tasks for my team to achieve this strategy. Okay, let me say generate tasks on a Kanban board for my team to achieve um, Kanban, not ban, to achieve this strategy. I'm going to send it to Copilot and let's see if Copilot can do this. It didn't. It just created the tasks, yeah, but it did not add them to a Kanban board. So the rest will be on me to add a new Kanban board and leverage this content in designing my board. Okay. So task loop, generate content. Click on the Copilot here to add more. Click on the this Copilot here to modify the generated content. All right. To add icons, color-coded categories, that can be done, right? I've tried that before. Once you're done, feel free to share this one with your on a workspace where you add the rest of your employees so you can brainstorm together and co-author content, or just send this loop to the team. And that was loop. Now, in Office Online, we have plenty of applications here. So if I click on more apps, and basically Copilot is in all of them, right? All apps. There you go. You'll find Copilot everywhere here. Yeah. So booking is used for booking. If you want to list services and list resources, and then you want people to interact and book, that can be done. The rest so I'm just going to focus on certain things here. OneNote. So whether you have OneNote on web or you have OneNote application on your phone, on your machine as a standalone application, you still can use Copilot. So this is OneNote. I have something called Copilot scenarios here. Different scenarios that I'm working on. Uh, Product focus, this is empty. So I'm going to start with asking Copilot whether it can generate scenarios for me to try Copilot capabilities in Microsoft 365 applications. And then remember, when you add a prompt, you always have to um, have an objective or goal in mind. but then you would need to add some context. So maybe I go like, okay, preparing a training material for Microsoft 365 Copilot. Okay. Use simple English and simple terminologies because the target learners are business users. So I don't want it to go into structure of Copilot and then Copilot and security, and I don't need all of that, right? Okay. And then remember when you're talking about or when you're writing a prompt, we mentioned this so many times. Um, you need to have not only um, someone is typing, okay, not only the object and or the goal and the context, but also you need to add the source from where Copilot would get this information. Yeah. If you remember, and I will remind you right away, to write an effective prompt, you need all of these. Yeah. You need to have a goal in mind. You need to have context, source, and expectation, right? So keeping that in mind, I'm building this prompt until Iyad finish typing. All right. So um, generate scenarios, we're done. Iyad said something. What is the difference between Copilot 365 license and Copilot Pro license? Copilot Pro is for individuals, right? That's what Ankit has. That's for individuals. You buy it on your own. The Copilot 365 is enterprise license, enterprise version of Copilot, which is more powerful than the Copilot Pro license. And um, there we go. Yeah, we have the free Copilot, and we have, there you go, sorry, right here. We have Senior, the free Copilot. There's it. Free Copilot, and then we have the Pro version, that's for individuals, and then we have the Microsoft 365 business version, right? But then we have other flavors of Copilot and tap into that later. I hope I answered your question. Yeah. All right. So we've added the goal, we've added some context. Now we need to add the source. So I would go like use content from learn.microsoft.com. All right. And then my expectation for this prompt will be format the scenarios with with overview, let's say, add example prompts, all right, example prompts and sample answers uh, generated by the Copilot. So this is my final prompt, yeah, for me to generate the content, yeah. And so I have my source in here. Sorry, I have my goal in here. I have my context in here, and I have source in here. Every time I click, the zoom move away. And then I have my expectation in here. And then I'm gonna click on generate. I'll go back to the prompt and I'll copy it and paste it here on the chat window for you to try the prompt. And if you don't have the license, you know where to go. You go to copilot.microsoft.com and you will get to try it in here. That's the free version. That's the consumer version. You can try Copilot in here. Just make sure you sign in, and then you're good to go. Copying the link, share it on the chat window, getting rid of this. My content is ready. I'm gonna click on the generated prompt and copy it so I can share it with you, and then cancel this part. There we go. So, scenario one. All right. We got summarizing emails, generating meeting agenda, drafting documents, overview, example prompt, sample answer. I would have appreciated more if it created it this way. So this way, yeah, that would have been more organized. But I got what I want. And as a first draft, that looks great. I have 35 scenario in here. Okay. Create a to-do list, right? By customer support. Very nice scenarios in here. And that was Copilot in OneNote. I can generate content. I can select a certain part and then click on Copilot and then go like, you know what? I want to summarize this. I want to create a task list. I want to rewrite this. So if I click on create a task list, Copilot will create the task list for me based on the content that I've selected, and I can keep it. And then I can go to the Copilot icon in here to get to the Copilot panel. And then it remembers the scenarios it created and the prompt that I generated or I wrote. So I can create content using a create prompt or summarize this page, create an executive summary of those scenarios, for instance. Just summarize this page is enough. And meanwhile, let's see what else we can do. We can edit and ask it to generate more content, ask questions about this one. Yeah. And then if I have several, so much content and several topics, I can ask Copilot to organize this section by topic, let's say, right? By topic and add by, not topic, by Microsoft 365 product and add more scenarios for each product. Let's see if it can do that. Not really. I don't have much content, so it couldn't do it, all right? But yeah, if you have enough content, it would have worked. So this is basically Copilot in OneNote. Do you have any question? No question? I get this type. Let's see. All right. So when you create a form with Copilot, how and where the user data is stored, that's the question, Ankit. By Ankit, I mean. So the form we just created, usually Microsoft Forms create an Excel file and then saves this data on that Excel file, right? So if I go to collect responses, for instance, let me just go to settings first and see if anyone can fill this form. And then I will click on collect responses to get a link, to shorten it, copy it, and share it with you. So to demo this live, I'm sharing the form with you. Just fill it, please. And tell us how we do, how we're doing in demo service. And then I will show you how the responses pops up here immediately. All right. To speed things up, I'm gonna fill the form myself. There we go. Okay, so this is the edit page, and this is me here filling the form, right? So I'm gonna click on start now. I'll give us a couple of stars here. Yes, and then anything goes here and then submit. Once the form is submitted, I will get notified here, and I already have 4. Thank you all for your responses. As you can see, I got 4 responses here. I click on view responses, and then I can see them based on the questions. Yeah. So the first questions, this is the final result. I get it aggregated for me in a quick report like this. You see 4.25, 4.50, and so on. But then if I click on open result in Excel, this will open the original file on SharePoint where the data is actually saved. Yeah. Um, is it Desiree or Desire? Um, is it the first one or the second one? How to pronounce your name? Desiree. Desiree. Okay. All right. So this is the original form, right? And this is exactly where this form lives, on this location at the top on my personal SharePoint. Okay. You see? So you can export it once you're done, and then you can open it offline, of course, like editing and open it offline, and keep that offline. Keep that version on your desktop. So whenever you access the file from Excel on your desktop, you get the live version. It's not a separate copy. Yeah. So when you click on edit, you edit the actual document, and then you get an instance on your phone. So whenever new response is populated, you can just directly access from Excel. That's what I do, at least. Yeah, I go editing, open in Excel, and then I go in Excel and I pin it. It opens up in Excel. There you go. Yeah, so the next time I run Excel, I should see this one. So I immediately pin it. Yeah, so next time I run Excel, I immediately jump to my responses. I don't need to go to SharePoint or go to forms and do all those steps to access my phone. I hope I answered your question. Okay, Desiree talked about Hannah. So let's see. So the way I interacted with Planner, Desiree, is that once the tasks are created, I get to retrieve them from Copilot in Teams. I ask Copilot, what are my tasks? What are my late tasks? What tasks I have lined up for me, and so on. And then it gets me the data from Planner. Um, but I didn't try Copilot on Planner. So let's forget that altogether. Let's see if there is a Copilot here. So I have a demo, this AI adoption program plan. This is a demo material. And the last time I created this, there was no Copilot in Planner. And now I can see the icon in here, which is a great thing. There we go. Let's see. Um, Take this approach. Whenever a Copilot icon pops up in an application that you usually use, take a look at the different prompts in here. That what demonstrates the Copilot capabilities within that application. So I can create and add a task. All right. So I click on add a task and then I add a task for, let's say, add a task for what sauce? Okay, now add a task for, let's say, designing the training presentations. Okay. Yep, there we go. I should have mentioned to what bucket, I believe so. Let's see how it will create. All right, there we go. Summary connection, conduct review session with Killer, incorporate multimedia, create visual appealing slides. So I've added several of them actually. I get to choose the one that I want and get rid of the rest. Right? Okay, and I can just undo the whole thing or regenerate new ones by clicking in here. But as a manager, I would go for give me a status report for this plan. All right. So let's see what we will get. Of course, I should have mentioned more details of what am I looking for. Am I looking for late tasks? Am I looking for, and here we go. Time details. Yeah, for every bucket, these are the tasks because my prompt was not specific. So obviously, I can add a subtask or I can um, ask questions, right, from Copilot. And then there's always a view prompt or there's always a prompt library. When I click on it, it can help me looking for prompts to ask or create or understand. Once I click on understand, um, I can choose one of those prompts to try. All right. So what are the late um, tasks? And then, so basically, you're having a conversation with your planner. That's the answer to your question. Desire, Desiree, I hope I answered your question by this quick demo. Yep. And thanks for the question. We got to add another app to the family. All right, we've seen Forms, Loop, OneNote. We have it in OneDrive, by the way, as well. I don't know if you've tried this or not, but let me walk you through it. Waiting for OneDrive to pop up. Hello, OneDrive. All right, there we go. So let's say I have this presentation, which is the one I present on my webinar about Copilot Foundation training. I can see when I highlight here that there is a Copilot icon. When I click on it, basically, Copilot is going to offer help to either I can where I can actually ask a quick question, yeah, or create frequently asked questions from the content of this document, or I just maybe want to summarize it. So let me summarize it. Maybe it was a proposal sent to me. I don't want to read the whole thing. I don't want to even access the file. I just go to OneDrive, click on summarize, and then Copilot would summarize the whole thing for me. hello, Copilot. Copilot said sure, and then that's it. They didn't come back with anything. There you go. Thank you, Copilot. So that's it's working on it. It's building it as we speak. Okay. So you will get your summary in here. That's another useful Copilot feature. So it will populate everything in here with the references for the document, of course, that you've used. So this is one way to use Copilot. Another way is to access Copilot chat, yeah, on Microsoft 365. So Microsoft 365 chat or Copilot chat is the same chat that you find in Microsoft Teams. So if you pop up Microsoft Teams, then you go to chat window, yeah, you will see Copilot. There you go. I got my Copilot, which is the same version of this chat here. So we call it a Copilot chat, basically. Let me get rid of this. Well, we tried OneNote, Loop. All right. What else? This we demoed a lot. It's there on the stream if you have videos. Let's see if they introduced it to Sway or not. Have you used Sway? Do you know what Sway is? Not the song though. Yeah. Right, so Sway is a quicker way to create presentations. So if you want to create presentations, you don't have time, you got, let's say, 10 minutes before the meeting, well, Sway can help you doing that. And you can create a regular presentation or a web-based presentation, something that looks like a web page. So if you want to create, for instance, a newsletter for your department, use Sway. Presentations, yeah, a communication email or a template that you send all the end of month achievements and so on, you still can use Sway to do so. Yeah, it has interactive elements like this one, whether you use it on your phone or through a tablet or a web application. So let's get started. Yeah. Apparently, Copilot did not arrive here yet. But let me just walk you through how to use this one quickly. Maybe there is a template that I want to begin with, or I want to be inspired by features Sways, or maybe I want to create from scratch or from a PowerPoint documentation. I'm going to click on what I want, and then Sway will generate that for me immediately. There you go. That's your template. So this is your presentation, right? It's just an empty template so far. It's a web-based, that's why it takes time to load. And if you want to edit it, you click on edit, and then you will see how easy to edit this template in here. And there you go. I have a picture, heading, card, and then heading, card, and then group of images, text, and everything is listed. You just modify it. And if you want to add something new, you just click here and choose what you want to add. Heading, text, image, stack of images. You want to upload a file or a picture, you can add a live tweet. So any interaction happens to that tweet, you can see it here. You can embed YouTube video within your Sway, so on. So text, media, yeah, and then maybe you want to group elements together. It's pretty easy to use. That was Sway. Do you have any question for me? Thanks for the feedback, Shireen. Do we have developers on the call? Yes, take it for a spin, Desiree. You will love it. Um, do we have any developers in the house? No? All right. Um, don't you wish if you can easily create business applications for maybe your team, your department, without a single line of code because you're not basically a developer. I wish if there is a way where I can just drag and drop and then create my application where people can fill data. And by that, I would guarantee the the consistency of my data. I would guarantee validating my data because when people let's admit it, when people work with a lot of Excel, they tend to make mistakes, enter the wrong type of data in the wrong column, and so on. But having an application to either display data or gather data, that would be great, isn't it? Well, dragging and dropping and designing an application, that would be a great idea. But I have the best idea for you. If you go to Power Apps on your Microsoft 365 account, Copilot is going to create this application for you. So you don't even need to drag and drop. You just need to write a proper prompt. And Copilot will take it from there. It will, as if you're doing in PowerPoint, Copilot agreed with you on the outline first, right? And then it generated the content. Here as well, it will show you the database, how many tables it will create, and so on. Even if you're not a developer, it's not rocket science. You will build your application within seconds. So let's see it now. All right, there you go. So allow me a second, sorry. All right, I'm back. There you go. So now share with me one idea of an application that you want to create. And to make sure that you're here, let's engage. Tell me one idea of an application that you'd love to create. There are some suggestions here by Copilot. You can go for, oh, I need my staff to check out equipment and be notified of due dates. Maybe I want employee um, logging their vacation hours. Maybe I want um, my team needs a solution for tracking projects across the company. So whatever idea that you want, all right, you can mention it and explain it to Copilot, and then Copilot will generate the application for you. And you can click on add more sources here. Yeah, content documents that would help supporting you and explaining the idea. Um, all right, customer care and health care. All right, all right. So what about customer care and healthcare, Desiree? What do you want? The more we're specified, well, the better the result. So a simple thing so we can carry on with this demo. All right, England is saying something. Yeah, why not? All right, there you go. And then I'm going to send this how to keep records and track appointments, for example. I'm going to add all of this. Okay, I'm going to add all of this as it is. I'm supposed to modify it, but just going to add it just to show you that speak your mind to Copilot, and then um, Copilot will do the needful. Are you all from Sidra? Spain. Yeah, okay. What about England and Desiree and Kit? Spain as well? All right. Not ML oil and gas. Okay. It's just when you said healthcare, I had a lot of Sidra employees in my previous webinars. That's why I immediately assumed. Of course, this is not like generating content, so Copilot will take a bit of time before it generates the final content for you, or the final um, um, database or data structure for you. And to be frank, our prompt was pretty confusing, so it's trying to understand now um, what do we mean, what do we want, then it will generate the database. There we go. So it came up with the business problem, first of all. Customer care and healthcare, patient survey and healthcare, we have received how to keep, because and that's what that was my prompt, basically. Propose of this. It's the plan that outlines your business problem, review the user roles and tasks, and so on. So who's involved? These are the stakeholders. We got patients, all right? So what would they do? Patient, I mean. The ones who receive the healthcare, where users needs to fill out surveys, schedule appointments, receive reminders, yeah, access medical records, and so on. Now, a proper prompt for such application on for Copilot on such application needs to be this way. You need to mention who will use the application, what will they do, each one of them. Um, Healthcare provider, there you go, track appointments, receive notifications, and do the rest of it. Do you want to add these roles or you want to edit them? Maybe Copilot missed something. So you can click on edit and add more, or just add these roles, right? So this will be reflected now on a new data tables, you see? Because initially, based on the business problem, the application had two tables, the patients and the patients and the healthcare provider details, yeah? But now it's injecting more appointments, survey, feedback, and it's working on um, the tables right now. Yeah. And this is where you see the path for your tables, right? It's done. You can click on show details, it's loading. There you go. So if you're a techie and you want to take a look at the actual database, there you go. If you don't care, this is the interface for you. All right. So these tables are fine. So let's add these tables. So they will be considered. Now let's talk about the user experience. We need a patient survey app. We want an appointment part of the app. We want medical records to be recorded. We want feedback to be registered. We want reminders, and we want an app for the admin to manage. So let's add those user experience data, user experience. This is how it will be created. Yeah. Okay, I think we're good to go. Just review. All good. Yeah, nothing more to add. I can hide this one. Take a deeper look at the generated content and analyze it. The way they changed the interface. I'm just going to save this one and call it healthcare customer care and save, which was generated by Copilot as well. Yeah, so that was my solution. They changed the interface, by the way. There was a button here for me to stop generating the actual interface, but for a reason, I can't see it anymore. Let me click on back, go to the apps, and I don't see it under my apps. That's my environments. We messed up somewhere on the tables. Maybe it wasn't yet populated. So let me go back to apps. Product for travel service. No? All right. This is getting a bit out of hand. I don't know why it's not showing, so let me figure that out. There we go, healthcare customer. This is the plan. So let me start there. Yep. So the plan is fine. We've added everything. The user experience is there. Okay, we didn't save the last part. I have to go back. But do you see, this used to take us developers a couple of years. Okay. Okay. Now, that's clear. So to start with the patient survey app, we need to click on the plus sign as it says here, and then that item will be created. I'm going to click on the survey app. And before that, I need to save everything. So let me click here. Okay. Medical records. Let me start creating. Got stuck. Hello, Copilot. It's not listening to me. Please create. This is all fine. Ah, it's saving tables. It was talking to me here, saving tables for me to start creating. So basically, I can create now. It's loading. You see, there are a lot of updates. This interface, the last time I went to work on an app, it was not like this. The user experience was not like this. They made it way better. So you always have to keep an eye, check updates, try. If you try something with Copilot and it doesn't work, don't be afraid to retry it again a couple of days, weeks later. It's building that particular app for me first. They all share common tables. So although you might have different interfaces, but then they're all connected to the same data because um, they're part of the same plan. So we started with the patient survey app. We should have started with the patient app to register all patients first and then get their feedback or get their survey. But anyway, this one will create the patient table for us. It's a prerequisite. Let's see. So from 1 to 10, how do you rate Copilot based on the capabilities I've demonstrated today? 1 being the worst tool ever, 10 being I will definitely use it. Right, we got 8. Misery. Just a second. I'll be sharing my screen in a bit. Right. So the app was created, and we're still waiting for your feedback. Rating Copilot. I got 8s and 8.5 and 9. Thank you. All right, so the app is created, but as of now, Copilot doesn't generate the icons and images for you. It just keeps a placeholder for you to add your icons. But this is the section for patients, this is the section for surveys, and so on. And these are the different screens. So if you want to try it, maybe first you want to save it, and then you can click on play or F5 as if you're in PowerPoint in order to try it. So you click on this one. This is how it will look on the, let's say, computer. On tablets, you can choose, well, if your iPad is 12.9, you click on it, and that's how it will look on an iPad. Maybe you want to switch to the mobile device and see if your iPhone is, let's say, whatever, 14 Pro Max. Okay, this is how it look. All right, and if you want it, if you have a custom dimensions, you can add it here. If you have a different app, so that's how your application will look in different devices, whether it was vertical or horizontal. So I'm going to go back to the desktop view, all right, window size, and then show you that, oh, when I click on patients, I got sample data here, and I can add new data. First one is going to be me, all right, and me, myself, the time, whatever. So that's an email, and then some address in here, medical history, phone number, yeah, date of birth, and then I can save it. All right. But you see, Copilot understands for a patient, well, I need to know your date of birth. Yeah. So at least, so it added some validation rules. Clicking on OK, I have it added. Of course, I'm not going to add the hours. Copilot messed up there. So I'm going to click on save it. It goes to the database. I can see myself right now in here. All right. And going back, I can go to surveys and I can go to feedback, and then I will choose to add a new survey, for instance, and then there we go. This was added by me, and carry on. Okay, clicking on home. You see, the application is working. That's my point. We've created it based on a plan that we've created by Copilot. So we didn't do anything. This is fully functioning now. Okay, so that was Copilot in Power Apps. Um, if I go back to Microsoft 365, I have here Automate. Where are you? There you go, Power Automate. Another way to try Microsoft 365 is to automate workflows. If someone submitted an expense and you have a business rule that says if the expense is less than 1,000, just get me the line manager approval and it will go through. But if the expense is above 1,000, for instance, maybe I need the admin approval, and I need as well the CFO approval, for instance. So I'm just designing a workflow. So usually we do that using Power Automate, right? I can create workflows from templates. I can start from scratch. So going to the templates, I've just displayed to you the different templates we have in Power Automate that you can begin with, or you can build it from scratch. Well, the thing is, Power Automate has 600 plus connectors, which means you can connect whatever to whatever. Yeah. Go as simple and as silly as if I receive an email from my manager, tweet about it. So I can connect Outlook with Twitter. Yeah. Expand on this scenario. You would know your business requirements better, and you can leverage this application within your context. So there you go. These are some examples. Yeah. So you can say, for instance, all attachments you receive from on your email to a particular OneDrive folder. All right. You can trigger a flow based on Power BI. You see, these icon represents the application involved on the different activities within the flow. All right, so we have different templates here, and you can see what's shared by me related to templates related to remote work or approval templates, data collection, and so on. But if you don't want a template, you can start and create from scratch. Yeah, if you know how to use Power Automate. If you don't know Power Automate and you don't have the time to actually create or learn how to use Power Automate, we can ask Copilot to do so or to help us doing so. But you will need Copilot to be activated on your tenant for you to do so. So I'm going to switch to another tenant to demonstrate this, right? Another account, I mean. Do you have anything in mind that you're wondering if Copilot can do it, or if Copilot can do? Well, can help in analyzing content, misery, but an actual predictive model, you would need a an agent for that. You would need a model which is trained on predictive modeling to do so. All right. So for a reason I can't see my Copilot in here, there's something that happened to my license. I'm gonna need to check that with the team. All right. So sorry, I won't be able to do this demo because I can't see my Copilot. So usually I click on create here using Copilot, and then I will just explain through a prompt, and then Copilot will generate the whole flow for me. All right. Let me see if it's enabled on this environment here. Now there is something wrong with the license here. Oh, there you go. It's here for this. Brilliant. Let me remember that. It's on my environment, not on this environment. So create your automation with every month, copy all my files from one drive folder to another folder. These are examples. Or copy all rows from a certain Excel file into another Excel. Or when someone uploads a certain document to SharePoint, I get notified on my mobile. Whatever the scenario, explain it to Copilot. And then it's as simple as if I'm gonna choose this prompt, when an item is added to or created in SharePoint, send me an email. Right? So I want to monitor a particular SharePoint um, website or a library. I'm gonna submit this one to Copilot. No flow suggestions, create a cloud, try rephrasing. Okay. Send me an email and add a record to an Excel file and retrieve the approval of the of the line manager of the person who created the SharePoint record. All right, retrieve approval, SharePoint. There we go. Let's see if will Copilot understand this. It's insisting on not working today. I couldn't create it. Rephrase. What do you want me to rephrase, my friend? That was your suggestion. Let me try this one. But there's definitely something wrong with the service because those default prompts should work all the time. Yeah, and they're not working now, which means the service has something wrong. Maybe they're doing maintenance or something. So yeah, in short, by finishing the explanation or your prompt, you hit send, and then the flow gets created immediately, right? All you have to do now, once the flow is created, if you say copy files from OneDrive folder to another folder, you just need to specify what is this folder you want to copy from and the destination as well. So you add the parameters of the different workflows that you're creating. If you say monitor a SharePoint library, you need to mention and specify that library. So I'm trying now another prompt. Again, that was the last attempt. There is something wrong with the service. So apology, I won't be able to demo it. Not from my end. Do you have any question for me? No questions? No? Thank you so much. All right. If no question, let's see what England want to say. Yes, definitely. Copilot is there in all the Microsoft 365 applications, as I mentioned. So for instance, in Excel, we have some data here. All right. So this was my data, sample data, and my data, by the way, ended here. This was my data. All of the other columns were added by Copilot. So I can simply select them all and get rid of them. And I will show you how to add those columns as well. The idea is, first of all, Copilot will take a look at your data, analyze it, and then suggest formula columns for you. So let's do it. I'm gonna click on Copilot icon in here, and this Copilot icon is gonna open the Copilot panel, explaining to me or demonstrating to me or mentioning to me the different capabilities that it can do, like suggesting a formula column. You see, all right? So I'm gonna click on this one, send this prompt to Copilot. I could have wrote it, but it's easier this way. Copilot will go understanding my data on this data range A1 to H13 until here, which is the full table, and then suggest something for me. It goes like, okay, average budget. Here is your average budget. Does it make sense? Add it. It doesn't make sense? Ask for another formula column. All right, forget about it. Average budget. Then it would generate another column for you or another suggestion. The idea here is to add more data to enhance the existing data. Some columns maybe you missed. For instance, I don't have the total profit on those campaigns. So eventually Copilot will add it. But for now, it's getting me the revenue per user and so on. So you keep adding and suggesting formula columns. Once you satisfy, you go now start analyzing. Copilot will help you within your analysis. So for instance, after adding the total revenue, I will try another feature, which is understand insights. I wanted you to summarize using pivot table and pivot chart. I'm clicking on that prompt, send it to Copilot, and let's see the result. So there you go. It got me one data insight. All right. So it goes like, okay, how about the sum of revenue? Right? So it's getting me the sum of revenue. If I like it, I click on add to new sheet. It goes to a new sheet, the pivot table and the pivot chart. If I don't like it, I can go for another insight and again generate another one. And then for a reason, it just created the same. It would go for another one if I generate it again. Or I can say, show me data insights. Right. Then it would show me different insight. There we go. Total user target by campaign. If you want it, you know what to do. You click here and so on. But if you're lazy to see them one by one, just click on add all insights to grid. Once you add all insights to grid, voila, you have all insights by Copilot in one sheet, one grid. Yes, if you don't have the Copilot button, you don't have the license. But hold up, I'm not done yet. Because this is the analysis by Copilot. But I have my own analysis. I'm looking at certain anomalies, or I want to see certain trends and so on. So I want to build my own report. For that, I will go for advanced analysis. So once I click on advanced analysis, it's asking me to start the session because in this session, Copilot will write Python code for you to answer your questions, right? Or generate your required graphs. So we'll start with the data set, try to analyze the sheet and understand the sheet, create the basic correlation matrix for deeper analysis, all right? And if it has any insights, it will add it, but then it will wait for you, yeah, to start asking questions to build your report. So maybe you will go for instance, you would go for identifying top performing campaign based on revenue. So let's try this one. Yeah. And again, you can write it or you can choose one of the suggested prompts. So the top performing campaign, see, it will get added here immediately. Yeah. But I don't want it to be this way. I want to visualize it. So I will write a prompt to visualize the top performing campaigns. Because my data is all about social media marketing campaigns and so on. So you see, I got my report or a visual graph. You have a follow-up question? Let's see the impact of campaign duration on revenue, and so on. You carry on asking questions, Copilot answered them, and building a whole report. This is just Excel. You can click on whatever you don't want and delete it or keep it or modify it or do whatever you want with it. Once you're done, you can click on stop. You go back working on your sheet. All right. Similarly, you can create and generate Word document content. Uh, in Word. You click on Word, you go to Word, Copilot is there, you can't miss it. You ask Copilot to generate, let's say, um, generate whatever content that you want. I can ask Copilot for a topic, or I can reference a certain file, yeah, by clicking on this button to reference, or a forward slash, and then reference a file or a meeting recap or action items that I need, or refer to a certain meeting for deeper analysis and extract tasks and so on. So I can refer to whatever I want. Yeah. Even if the actual content is in Arabic, I can ask Copilot to generate content in English based on the Arabic content. So generate a summary of this document. Send that to Copilot. Copilot will generate the content that I need. And of course, like every Copilot panel that we've seen so far, if I click on this icon, it will open the Copilot panel here where I can ask questions, summarize content, get results, and so on. But the good thing in Word is that once I keep this content because I like it, for any reason, if I want to visualize this one as a table, for instance, I select it and then click on Copilot and visualize as a table. Or maybe write a prompt to enhance this content or add something or modify it. So I'm just going to visualize it as a table. And let's see the result. There we go. I got my content in a table. Once I'm done, I save the document and I'm good to go. But if I open the Copilot panel, I can now interact, have a conversation with my document, upload an image and extract the text of that image. And similarly, if you don't want to work on Word, you have a PowerPoint presentation to prepare for. Well, you go to PowerPoint. Yeah, let me switch tenants here. And on PowerPoint, start by creating a new presentation from the Copilot icon. Once you click on Create Presentation, you ask Copilot to create a presentation about a topic or reference a document and let Copilot generate the presentation from that document. That document could be a Word document or a PowerPoint. Okay. And as I told you, you can type forward slash or you can click on reference and then Copilot will fetch the data. Okay, in here. But for this scenario, I want to create a presentation from a topic. So I'm going to go like create a presentation about and then mention the topic immediately. Let's say onboarding process. Yeah. There we go. I got my onboarding process. I can modify the topics by changing their location. I can click on add and ask Copilot to add a new topic in this area here. If I'm satisfied, I click on generate slides and then Copilot will generate the slides. When Copilot generates the slides, it generates the title of the slide, it generates the text of the slide, the supporting images that suits the content for every slide, and on top of this, it animates the slide and it creates the presentation or sorry, presenter notes for you. It tries to help you even in what to say in every slide when you're presenting. And it will group the slides based on topic and add sections on your PowerPoint. So it's going to be a pretty much ready PowerPoint for you to use immediately, unless you want to tweak a couple of things here and there. We always say with Copilot, you will never write the first draft again. Yeah, Copilot will do that. So keep it. Here are the presentations categorized into sections. I can go and see that it's actually animated. All right. And for every slide, there is a presenter note for you in here. All right. But again, I have Copilot button here for the Copilot panel where I can now interact with my document, ask questions, summarize, create key slides, extract text from images, and so on. But if you don't create PowerPoint presentations and what you basically do is you're buried in lots of emails. Well, Copilot is there for you to help you as well. Because if you want to write an email, you click on the Copilot action, click on draft, and then ask Copilot to request information, give update, whatever, or just type a meeting invitation for the team. All right, whatever you want, send that prompt to Copilot, and Copilot will generate the email for you. But sometimes you don't want such a lengthy email, so you can scroll, go to Copilot, and ask for Copilot to make it, or ask it to make it shorter. So Copilot will shorten it, or make it longer, or change the tone. You see, change the tone. I can make it direct. I can make it formal. I can make it, and because I like the team so much, I can write them a poem. There we go. Why not? Here it is. Not practical. I'm going to change it to formal. All right. I'm going back to Copilot and I'm going to keep this one. And there you go. The rest is just a couple of modifications. Add this one right here and I'm good to go. We have a question here. Okay, if someone is using M365 Copilot, free or license or pro, with its built-in apps to generate documentation data and for further use, should there be any copyright concerns from where voice is getting the no, there is no any concern because what we say, Gen AI tools like Copilot, they generate original text, which means they will look at different sources through the internet, but then they will write their own conclusion. So it doesn't copy data. It never copies data. Even if you give Copilot a PowerPoint presentation and you ask Copilot to create another PowerPoint presentation, it's not going to copy paste it, right? It will generate new content, conclusion, its understanding of this PowerPoint presentation. It never generates the same text. Again, it never copies the content as it is from the internet. I hope I answered your question. So let's say I wrote this email and I want now Copilot to coach me into is my writing style good or not? Is this motivating enough for the team? So what I will do is I will go to Copilot and then I will choose coaching by Copilot. Once I click on coaching by Copilot, Copilot will analyze my content and they will give me some tips and tricks. Sometimes I write a very direct, straight to the point email. People think I'm angry. No, I'm not. So there you go. It will help you with the tone. Maybe you want to change instead of I hope this email finds you well. You go like I'm excited to reach out to you and so on. So some tips for to enhance the tone for the reader sentiment and for the clarity of your email. If you like all of this, click on apply all suggestions. Copilot will preview everything to you before adding it. Okay, and then click on replace, and you have your new email right now. And then you can even write, select everything, again, get Kosh, or make it shorter. Why not? There's a shorter version and make it even more shorter, or just replace it. So these are some of the capabilities of Copilot in um, Outlook. At the end, I hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you for joining us on this webinar. We will not let you leave empty-handed. We have a certificate for you, and to redeem the certificate, you're going to need to go to Microsoft Learn, sign in with your personal or corporate account, and then go to Profile, Achievement, redeem the code, and add this code. Or just click on the link that I will share on the chat window. And the chat window will take you to Microsoft Learn. If you don't have any account, you're going to need to create an account first and then redeem your certificate. All right. I'm going to add here. And one more thing to do is to share with us your feedback about this session. Um, Redeem your achievement certificate, right? That link is gone on the chat. And the next thing to do, or maybe if you're using your computer and you want to fill this from your phone, feel free to scan the first QR code. I'm just going to copy all of this, delete my previous message, and add it in here. That is your achievement code. And then to fill the feedback, feel free to fill the feedback, fill this feedback for us. So on the feedback, the form is going to ask you for the trainer name. This is the trainer name. Feel free to capture it and let us hear from you. If you have any comments, feedback, any way that we can that can help in enhancing those webinars, we would love to hear from you. And if you have any question on the future, feel free to reach out. We will be more than happy to help and assist. Thank you all for joining this session. I wish you all the best on your future endeavors. Have a good one. Bye bye.